I used garlic and onions in a meal when I was strictly asked to not to. My stepmother-in-law won't allow my father-in-law to eat anything with garlic or onions, not even garlic powder or onion powder. She claims that it hurts his stomach. So, whenever they're in town and come over for dinner, I refrain from using garlic or onions, which is frustrating because I use those two in just about everything I cook. For a little backstory about my stepmother's cooking, she makes the blandest food. Once, we went to her Thanksgiving dinner. She cooked the turkey around noon, cut it up, and had it out around 3, but no one was allowed over until 5 p.m. By the time we arrived, the turkey was cold AF and drier than the Sahara Desert. The woman just doesn't know how to make a tasty meal. Anyhow, my FIL visited us once without his wife, and I made chicken breast with garlic and onion seasoning, and he loved it. Nothing happened to him after he ate it. He told me that he can eat garlic and onions if they're cooked. But for some reason, when he's around his wife, both of those ingredients are not to be used. They visited before Christmas, and we planned a dinner at my house. My SMIL made it a point to call me to remind me not to use garlic or onions. She also called my wife to remind me not to use garlic or onions. I was so annoyed that she made it a point to remind us not to use the two ingredients after years of her constantly reminding us. That night, I cooked the chicken breast with sage, rosemary, thyme, garlic, and onion powder. Both my SMIL and FIL loved the meal. In fact, they commented on how juicy the chicken was and how delicious it tasted. It turns out they both like garlic and onions but, for some reason, just have an issue with it. Also, neither one of them got sick. My whole entire life, I have always stared at people. I do it whether you are doing something to attract attention to yourself or not. I stare at you. What you guys may misunderstand about this, you might think I'm staring off into space thinking about something and accidentally stare at someone. That's not the case. I'm actually present and looking at them. Here's times I do it. In public when I'm walking past everyone, I always look at everyone walking by me instead of looking straight or not at anyone. In school, I'd always stare at my classmates around me. Now I graduated high school and I'm in the workplace now. I stare at my coworkers at lunch, walking past them, and at their computers. Here's something else. When somebody has a profile picture of themselves, I always like to zoom in on it and stare at it rather he or she. Sometimes, I like to screenshot the image and have it for later. I go back to it in my gallery and stare at it every now and then.